Death. Protect yourself against the uncertainties of disability, death, or medical expenses related to an accident by purchasing a personal accident policy. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa.
Well, there you are. InfoTrack opinion poll puts President William Ruto ahead of all the 2027 presidential race hopefuls. And also coming up in this bulletin, we will be looking at the day's business.
Thank you so much, Tom. And in business, I'll tell you about animal feed manufacturers want tax incentives to increase local production of animal feeds. What do we have in sports, Tom?
Well, Migori Football Youth Club has been gifted an Wobus. Why? Because they've made it for the next season's Premier League. All that coming up, but first let's take a look at the executive summary of our top stories tonight. All Kalau campaigns home stretch. Candidates make their final submission to voters just hours before the official campaign period closes when the clock strikes midnight.
Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the dot, that the Honorable Member may present himself so that these proceedings
come in person. IEBC orders Nakuru Town East Legislator David Gikaria to appear in person over voter bribery claims in All Kalau. Jomo Kenyatta school unrest. The Nakuru-based secondary school closed indefinitely after students go out on the rampage. Welcome to the Prime Edition. I am Mboya. My colleague Muchuma Odim is away. Our sign language tonight is Lucy Mwaura. We are very grateful that you made us your channel of choice for your news. Our socials, engage with us at KBC Channel 1. Let's open this coverage with our lead story now. Nakuru Town East Legislator David Gikaria will have to appear in person before the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee of the electoral body IEBC to defend himself over voter bribery allegations during the ongoing campaigns. We begin this coverage with a look at that story.
The three-term legislator was expected to appear before the Alutalala Muhwana-led committee Monday morning, but instead he sent his personal assistant to argue his case, a move that did not augur well with the committee.
Mr. Joseph Kariuki Nerima, could you please address this committee on where the Honorable Gikaria is, because I don't see him around. In law, a person can appear in person by authorized agent or by counsel, correct? In your case, in your client's case, the first appearance here was through his authorized agent.
This prompted the morning session to be adjourned until afternoon, only for Gikaria to send his legal team.
We are unaware of who the complainant is. We do not have any witness statements, any evidence that is meant to be relied upon.
The Nakuru Town East MP found himself on the receiving end after he was allegedly captured violating the Electoral Code of Conduct over utterances he made at a public rally in Olkalau within Nyandarua County. The Alutalala-led committee rejected claims by his legal representative that the legislator had not been served or was medically unfit to attend the hearing, citing no evidence before it to support the medical claim. The committee also rejected Gikaria's arguments, challenging the commission's role as the complainant, stating that IEBC is legally mandated to investigate and prosecute breaches of its Electoral Code of Conduct.
It has been decided that these proceedings will adjourn until tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on the dot, that the Honorable Member may present himself so that these proceedings may commence.
Michael Mondiga for Prime Edition.
Now, 20 people have been arrested in connection with the recent electoral violence reported in Kisumu and Nyahururu as government intensifies its crackdown on political goonism. Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen urged the judiciary to hand down stiff penalties to deter political goonism. Meanwhile, a political storm is brewing in Ukambani, where local leaders have given Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua a 10-day ultimatum to dissolve his Maendeleo Chap-Chap party and join UDA, threatening to petition the president for his dismissal if he fails to fold the party. Aaron Marie has more details.
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen revealed police have since arrested 20 suspects behind political violence in Kisumu and Olkalau.
Lazima ukweli usemwe. Ile maneno ilifanyika Kisumu jana na ile ilifanyika huko not Olkalau pale Nyahururu. Ile ilifanyika Nyahururu na ile ilifanyika Kisumu. Tusianze pia kujifanya kwamba ati polisi hakuna kitu wamefanya. Mnajua ya kwamba watu zaidi ya 20 wameshikwa kwa hizo both incidents.
Murkomen warned they will also crack the whip against the financiers of the violence, calling on the judiciary to ensure stiff penalties for the perpetrators.
Our government and our police department is able to deal with all the goods, and we dare them to continue doing what they have been doing. First of all, let us see the ones who have been arrested being punished by the courts, not being allowed to roam around and then to blame again the ministry and the police.
And separately, pressure is mounting on Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua to fold his Maendeleo Chap-Chap party and join UDA.
Mutua tumempatia siku 10 kama wanachama halisi wa UDA ukiongezwa na Kawaya. Avunje Maendeleo Chap-Chap, atakuja kukua Ruto akienda. Lakini saa hii wakati yule Cabinet Secretary tuko na yeye peke yake ndio kutafutua. Na rais anasema vunjeni chama.
A section of leaders from the Ukambani region have called for the dissolution of the party a day after the president visited the region, threatening to push for his ouster from cabinet should he fail to dissolve the party within 10 days.
Sisi meeting yetu asubuhi tumeamua tutapea mkuu siku 10 avunje Maendeleo Chap-Chap.
And the Law Society of Kenya has raised alarm over what it described as widespread allegations of electoral malpractice ahead of the Olkalau by-election. In a statement, LSK cited reports of voter bribery, misuse of public resources, participation of public officers in partisan campaigns, political intimidation, violence, and other alleged electoral offences capable of undermining the credibility of the poll. In Machakos County, Governor Wavinya Ndeti has reinstated County Executive Committee member for Finance Catherine Matanu after the court suspended the implementation of her dismissal.
The law is very clear. There is no way we can sit on their salaries, but they have to do the documents properly.
Elsewhere, Kenya Kwanza leaders intensified grassroots campaign in Kwale County as they allied support for President William Ruto re-election in 2027.
Uko mbele uko, watajua, uko wapi? Mbele. Ama namna gani?
led by Cabinet Secretary Salim Mboya and Ali Hassan Joho. The team urged residents to register as voters to strengthen the coast region's bid.
Mheshimiwa Ruto atusikiza, lakini atatusikiza zaidi wakati sisi mchango wetu utakuwa ni mkubwa.
Aaron Marie for Prime Nation.
Now, political campaigns ahead of Thursday's parliamentary by-election in Olkalau entered the final stretch Monday. Candidates and political bigwigs made their final submissions to voters just hours before the official campaign window slams shut at midnight tonight. The United Democratic Alliance Brigade traversed the constituency, rallying residents to back Samuel Muchina Nyaga's bid, while the Democracy for Citizens Party team made a final pitch for their candidate Sami Kamau Ngodo. Our reporter, Giverson Maina, traces the high-stakes final day hunt for votes in Nyandarua County.
With less than 6 hours left to the official close of the campaign period, this was the situation in Olkalau constituency, Nyandarua County. UDA Samuel Muchina and DCP Sami Kamau were on a charm offensive in a last-minute bid to woo voters. Top UDA bigwigs kicked off their final campaigns by meeting Olkalau dairy farmers, where they handed a milk cooler and also settled payments owed to the farmers as they drummed up support for UDA's candidate Samuel Muchina.
Ninyi mnaweza kubali ati mtoke ndani ya serikali, mali matunda yote inatoka, ati muingie opposition. Inawezekana? Hapana.
Those who have brought this kind of violence, irrespective of whichever party they come from, tunajua ni nani walikuwa wamesema nani asikakuje. Kwa hivyo wachunguzwe na wachukuliwe hatua.
Mkichagua hii serikali, mliahidiwa stima. Mkichagua hii serikali, mliahidiwa maji. Si bado haijatimizwa yote? Mimi nataka mnifanye chairman wa kuitisha hiyo deni. Na nikiwa na Moses Kuria hapa.
Then would hold a final rally at Olkalau KMTC grounds.
Hata nyinyi mtawekewa maji na Muchina. Mimi naweka stima huko wa Munyoro. Hata nyinyi mtawekewa stima hapa na Muchina akiwa mbunge wenu. Kutana na mtu ya DCP, msikosana na yeye kwa sababu ni ndugu yako. Mtakuwa na yeye kesho, mtakuwa na yeye kesho kutwa.
The leaders including Nyandarua MP Faith Gitau and her Kiambu counterpart Anne Wamuratha, Kiamba MP John Kawanjiko, Mwangi Kiunjuri of Laikipia East, and Kirinyaga Governor Anne Waiguru, among others, called for a peaceful Thursday by-election. Muchina, in his final pitch, explained to the residents why he was the best candidate for the job.
Kwa sababu tumebakisha siku mbili, uchaguzi wetu uweze kufikia. Na ninataka tufanye uchaguzi wa amani kwa sababu sisi ni wapenda amani.
This comes as DCP also took its final campaign to the residents, addressing them at Olkalau Arboretum grounds. Here they rallied residents to vote for their candidate Sami Kamau. Kamau, in his final submission seeking votes, vowed to serve all residents equally, regardless of their political affiliation.
The people of Olkalau have made their choice on who will be the MP. And on 16th, they will exercise that right without any interference.
Leaders from both the ruling party UDA and DCP camps have urged the supporters to remain calm as they await to elect their new member of parliament in Thursday's by-election to replace the late lawmaker David Keraho. Giverson Maina, Prime Edition in Olkalau, Nyandarua County.
From Olkalau to Broadcasting House here in Nairobi, it's 13 minutes past the top of the hour. Coming up, Kisumu County Commissioner issues a stern warning against politicians who make use of goons in public events. All that coming up when we return from this short break. Stay with us.
Safari yetu, nuru ya kujenga na kuangaza *977# or download my Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! Ecstasy, euphoria, and emotion overflows.
Michuano ya kombe la dunia yanakaribia kilele na sasa ni kufa kupona. Farasi wawili wanaopatana ugani, ni mmoja tu ndiye atakayesalia, huku mwingine akifunganya virago na kuelekea nyumbani. Je, ni timu gani itakayotwaa ubingwa huu mnamo Julai 19 pale MetLife Stadium? Jibu hili utalipata hapa KBC Channel 1, tukikupeperushia matangazo ya FIFA World Cup moja kwa moja kutoka Mexico, Canada na USA.
Goal! They've done it!
Pia unaweza kupokea matangazo haya kupitia stesheni za redio za KBC. Istoshe, kwa wale wanaopenda kuona mechi kupitia big screens, KBC itawatembelea mtaani kwenu. World Cup iko KBC. KBC, your true sports partner.
The wait is over. KBC Iko Huduma Center. Starting with Nairobi, kupata huduma za KBC imekuwa rahisi. From digital guidance and signet services to booking of commercial adverts and documentaries. Visit our dedicated desks at Huduma Center GPO, Times Square, Makadara, Kibera or Eastleigh. Tunakungoja hapo. Whether it's a casual announcement or a specialized media solution for your business, we are here to serve you. KBC at Huduma Centers, moving closer to you. Your station, your service.
Welcome back to Prime Edition, our socials at KBC Channel 1. Speak to us, let us know what your thoughts are on some of those stories that we've carried for you. Now let me swing it to our next story. Calls to curb electoral graft and ethical leadership dominated the African Anti-Corruption Day celebrations marked here in Nairobi, Kenya. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission backed the draft election campaign financing regulations spearheaded by IEBC, saying that it will aid in curbing voter bribery and also inducements. At the same time, the Commission's chairperson, David Oginde, warned against misuse of public resources and the culture of handouts, querying the source of funds. Here's that report.
The African Anti-Corruption Day kicked off under the theme Scaling Up the Promotion of Integrity in Anti-Corruption Actions Across Africa. Leading the celebration, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission backed the drafting of legislation on campaign financing. The Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission chairperson, Dr. David Oginde, in his remarks, queried the source of funds and the culture of tokenism during campaigns.
I think it is a very important thing that it should be done and requires our support, not just as an agency, but as Kenyans, so that when a person wins an election or goes into a public office, you know that this is a person who has been chosen by the people and is going to provide leadership according to the desires of the people.
I therefore call upon every Kenyan and indeed every African to become an ambassador of integrity. Together, we can build a more accountable, more prosperous, and more just Africa for all Africans.
At the same time, the Commission reaffirmed its commitment to upholding integrity and transparency in service delivery.
we continue to strengthen partnerships across the 20 sectors that are involved in the Kenya Leadership and Integrity Forum so that we can increase the awareness and participation in the fight against corruption.
As we commemorate the African Anti-Corruption Day, I express my deep appreciation to the African Union Advisory Board Against Corruption, AUABC, for its unwavering leadership in mobilizing African Union member states towards implementation of the African Union Convention on Prevention and Combating Corruption.
Other speakers from constitutional offices, professional bodies, civil society, and security agencies attending the event highlighted the shared responsibility of promoting ethical leadership and accountability, as well as a call for strengthening of the constitution to deal with graft decisively.
We commit to you our readiness and dedication to work with you so that we can eventually and practically and substantively vanquish the monster of corruption.
And we work hand in hand with EACC, ensure integrity. How I wish that this journey we have to go together, all of us.
So despite integrity play a key role in our space, allow me to say this. In our last survey of anti-corruption, we identified gaps that require mitigations for improved performance. For example, there is need to have constant communication to our stakeholders.
Let's go to Kisumu now. Kisumu County Commissioner Mahmoud Ramadan Mwabudzo has warned against the use of goons in all public events in Kisumu. Mwabudzo says that security will only be provided by the police, and anyone fashioning themselves as security agencies will be dealt with decisively. The declaration came after a 3-hour meeting with political class in the county following, remember, the Sunday chaos that marred a fundraiser at St. Stephen's Cathedral in Kisumu? Yes, that one. Here now is that report.
These were the scenes for the better part of Sunday morning as rival youths engaged in running battles near St. Stephen's Cathedral in Kisumu. A section of youth attempted to storm the church to stop the ongoing fundraiser, graced by Linda Mwananchi leaders led by Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and Siaya Governor James Orengo. Retaliatory attacks from the youth attending the Linda Mwananchi event resulted in the death of at least 2 people, while others were injured and at least 9 motorbikes burned. Kisumu County leadership seems to have had enough of the menace and have now resolved to deal decisively with the issue.
We are banning the activity of goons, of hiring of goons in all political activities. We are capable of providing security for those meetings.
This is an activity that cannot be tolerated, and we are joining effort. We are joining forces as the elected leaders with the security apparatus to ensure that this is stopped.
Kisumu County Commissioner Mohamed Ramadan Mwabudzo says what started as supplementary security has morphed into an outright extortion gangs that now travel to each public events to harass and demand money from the leaders.
Members of Parliament are in agreement that even themselves feel like the so-called goons or thugs have gone beyond what can be managed, because their demands are becoming too much.
I became a victim when I lost my mother, where goons accosted the Speaker of the National Assembly, and he couldn't leave unless he paid 1 million shillings. You know, they talk about 1 million as if they have it every day.
Mwabudzo is also promising to ensure those funding the outfits for their own political expedience are brought to book.
We have the capacity to deal with any situation, and that is exactly how we're going to deal with these issues moving forward.
Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Kisumu County.
Now, one person died while several others were injured after a section of a 5-story building under construction collapsed in Twiga Beach in Watamu, that's in Kilifi County. The incident occurred Monday in the afternoon as workers were pouring concrete on the basement slab, triggering a rescue operation involving members of the public as well as emergency responders. Witnesses said that some injured workers were rushed to hospital while fears remained that more victims could have been trapped beneath the debris. Residents and conservationists questioned the approval of the development, claiming that the building is being constructed within a protected coastal zone while raising concerns over structural integrity. Security officers later secured the scene as investigations into the cause of the collapse got underway. The body of the deceased was taken to Malindi Sub-County Hospital mortuary.
Tuliarifiwa kama mtu mmoja alifariki na mwingine akapelekwa hospitali. So yetu kama security team ya Malindi na the county government of Kilifi tunafuatilia ili kufanya uchunguzi tujue approvals ya mjengo ilifanywa vipi na kama imefuata ile utaratibu ya sheria ambayo inastahili. So yetu ni kuomba watu ya Malindi wakuwe watulivu, watupatie muda tuweze kufanya uchunguzi ambao ni wa kina ili tuweze kupata suluhisho kwa shida kama hii. Na pia ni kusema pole kwa familia ya wale ambao wamepoteza mpendo wao na wale ambao labda wamepata majeraha katika mjengo huu, ni kuambia pole, na tunahakikisha kwamba tutafanya uchunguzi wa kutosha na kuhakikisha kwamba sheria itafuata mkondo wake.
Now on to a story that we teased at the beginning of the broadcast. Jomo Kenyatta Boys High School in Bahati, Nakuru County has been closed indefinitely following a night of unrest, resulting in the injury of 2 students, while property of a known value was reduced to ashes. The unrest is reported to have been triggered by a long-standing grievance over management of the school amid claims of graft. During the melee, teachers, offices, classrooms, and the library and a computer laboratory were torched. Here's that report.
These were the scenes at the school after students went on the rampage torching school facilities. Among the debris were markings on the classroom walls and handwritten notes alleged to have been left behind by students expressing their growing frustration over the institution's management.
Tukichunguza kidogo tunaambiwa kuna mkutano ya siasa ililetwa hapa ndani. Na ilipoletwa hapa ndani wale wanasiasa wakagawa pesa. Katika kugawa pesa kuna ile ingine waliambiwa wamenunuliwa ng'ombe watakula nyama. Baada ya nyama wakapewa soda na mkate. Kwa hivyo wanafunzi wakawa na hiyo resentment ndani yao.
The letters accused the school principal of corruption and poor leadership. Tension reportedly began building at around 5 p.m. after students refused to sit for examinations. Hours later, a fire broke out in different sections of the school before firefighters put out the fire.
Hii block iko hapa iko na computer, hizi kazi zote ndio wamechoma. Na ile mambo tunasikia ni kwamba after kuchoma wale watu walikuja kuwa kwanza kufika hapa kama wazazi walipigwa na mawe na watoto. Unaona? Wakapigwa na mawe wakarudi nyuma.
During the incident, teachers' offices, classrooms, the library and a computer laboratory were destroyed. Parents have also faulted the school administration and board of management for allegedly ignoring students' concern despite earlier unrest reported just 2 weeks ago.
Ni kama block kama 5 zimechomwa zote. Mali ya zamani imeharibiwa na watoto wetu. Na hatuna lingine la kusema. Sasa hata tukiambiwa tulipe hii sijui kama tutaweza.
2 students suffered minor injuries and were treated at Bahati County Hospital. Investigations into the incident have been launched as learners were sent home indefinitely. Nailongeso for Prime Edition.
Today I'm cooking ugali na Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Enjoy the amazing aroma. Enjoy incredibly soft ugali done. Ingia ligi ya kipekee na Ajab Premium Maize Meal.
Did you know that you can purchase insurance products which are affordable and tailored to your needs? Micro Insurance offers affordable insurance products in exchange of regular premium as low as 40 shillings per day. It covers low-valued assets such as household items, stock in trade, amongst others. Insure all things that matter to you through Micro Insurance. Micro Insurance is affordable and tailored to your needs. Now you know. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! Ecstasy, euphoria, and emotion overflows.
Welcome back onto the scales of justice. Now, the High Court has certified as urgent a contempt of court application filed by human rights organization Vocal Africa against National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula over his alleged continued involvement in active politics. Justice David Mburu has last week barred the Senate and the National Assembly speakers from using their positions and influencing to engage in political campaigns due to neutrality of their constitutional officers.
On Wednesday last week, a human rights organization approached the High Court with a petition seeking to bar both speakers of parliament from engaging in active politics owing to the independence of the legislature. However, Vocal Africa back in court barely a week after, seeking to have sanctions meted against the Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, for alleged contempt of court.
Last week we were here in court and we were able to get the conservatory orders to bar the two speakers from engaging in active politics. Yet, over the weekend, after those court orders were issued, we saw the Speaker of the National Assembly, openly defying those court orders.
While giving his directions on the notice of motion dated Sunday 12th July, Justice David Mburu ordered the application be served immediately as it was found to raise matters requiring urgent consideration.
I gave instructions for my clients and I did file an application for contempt of court orders yesterday evening, and today that application was placed before the Honorable Judge, who was able to certify that application quite urgently.
The human rights group informed the court that Wetangula had continued engaging in active partisan politics despite an earlier court order requiring him to remain politically impartial.
The Speaker of the National Assembly, Moses Wetangula, did not shy away from participating in 6 events that required him not to participate, but he chose to participate in those particular events.
Justice Mburu will give a ruling on Thursday this week as he ordered the parties to be served immediately.
A court order is not a mere suggestion. It's a demand, it's an obligation that you should follow. When you choose to disobey court orders, it puts you under contempt.
Vocal Africa in its petition seeks to compel the speakers to uphold the constitution under the doctrine of separation of powers between the executive and the legislature.
This should actually be a clear message to anybody who thinks that they can disobey court orders. You cannot. Not at least in Kenya.
Bruce Mayoyo for Prime Edition.
The latest opinion poll by Infotrack puts President William Samoei Ruto ahead of the other 2027 presidential hopefuls at 32%. Former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka follows at 13%, while Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i at 12% each. United Democratic Alliance Party, UDA if you like, according to the survey, has emerged as most popular party among Kenyans at 22%, with the Orange Democratic Movement, or ODM, commanding a 21% support. Let's get some details on that report.
The findings by Infotrack shows that while awareness of the broad-based government remains high at 79%, support for the arrangement stands at 33%. According to Regional Research Manager at Infotrack Kenya, Jovin Wanyingo, those backing the coalition credit it for promoting peace, political stability and national cohesion, while critics cite poor governance, corruption and limited development gains.
Limited development or poor governance or government performance since the creation or since the start of this broad-based government. That's one major reason mentioned by the 37%. 19%, that's about 1 in 5, saying there's been self-gain by the politicians.
On the 2027 presidential bid, the polls places President William Ruto ahead of potential challengers with 32% support. Former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka follows at 13%, while Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i are tied at 12% each.
President William Ruto has a lead, and I would say commanding lead compared to the rest of 32%. The former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka at 13%.
The survey also points to a significant number of undecided voters, with about 1 in 5 respondents yet to settle on a preferred candidate.
Undecided still stands close to 21 for those who preferred not to disclose who their candidate, who they would vote for, plus those who are yet to make up their mind.
The poll further identifies Deputy President Kithure Kindiki as the most preferred running mate for President Ruto, should he seek re-election, attracting 34% support. Within the opposition, Kalonzo Musyoka narrowly leads as the preferred presidential flag bearer with 27% support, closely followed by Fred Matiang'i at 26%. A Kalonzo Musyoka Edwin Sifuna ticket emerged as the most preferred opposition combination among respondents. On political party popularity, UDA leads nationally with 22% support, closely followed by ODM at 21%, while former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagwa's Democracy for Citizens Party came third at 9%. The survey conducted between June 22nd and 26th sampled 3,000 respondents nationwide. According to Infotrack, while some Kenyans are politically aligned to a political party, some are yet to choose a political party to support. For Prime Edition, I am Teresa Mutai.
Time for a second break, and here's the reason we're coming back with a look at the day's business and also towards the tail end of this broadcast. Daniel Wahome is ready to get sporty. Stay with us.
Mic test, good.
It's opened up invitingly. It's Bill. It's in. It's Jude Bellingham. It's 2-1 England right at the start of extra time.
given Norway it all to do now.
Couldn't quite grasp it, Neelan. Maybe changed direction right at the end. Bellingham is in for his second, just as he did against Mexico. His 6th goal of this World Cup. And only Messi and Mbappe and Haaland have got more than that. Thomas Tuchel, a big delivery right at the start of extra time.
Yeah, special mention for Saka.
I am Chef Ombachi. Today I'm cooking ugali na Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Boil water, done. Add Ajab Premium Maize Meal. Done. Grab your mwiko and stir the mixture. Done. Enjoy the amazing aroma. Enjoy incredibly soft ugali. Done. Ingia ligi ya kipekee na Ajab Premium Maize Meal.
Berg to send the corner in again. Still lots of movement in the box. It's a deep one. Pickford got the punch away. Arsnes got a strike. It's off the crossbar from Mullival. Rebound. Might have been a nudge. Haaland's in. Side netting. Konza got a head onto it.
England just about clear. Oh, it's a really good header by Wolf. Really unfortunate that doesn't find the back of the net.
Did you know livestock insurance safeguards farmers against loss of their animals due to theft and death caused by pests, diseases, accidents, drought, fire, lightning, windstorms, and floods? It covers livestock such as cows, camels, sheep, goats, and poultry. Now you know. Read and understand the terms and conditions of your policy. This message is brought to you by the Insurance Regulatory Authority, IRA. IRA, Bima Bora kwa Taifa.
Good evening, and it's now time for business. My name is Trevor Ngendo. We begin with EAC affairs, and Kenya is easing movement of cargo along the northern corridor by eliminating non-tariff barriers such as reducing police checkpoints from 26 to 5 gazetted points, a move that is aimed at cutting delays for trucks transporting cargo to neighboring countries. East African Community Principal Secretary Dr. Caroline Karugu says that the national government, as well as the devolved units, has worked to streamline major transit routes to remove barriers that slow regional trade flows.
Non-tariff barriers comprise administrative, regulatory, and procedures that slow the movement of cargo, resulting in delays and higher costs. They include duplicate levies, procedures, and road user charges.
I think last year when I came in, we had about 69 reported non-tariff barriers, and that has come substantively to as low as about 27 non-tariff barriers currently reported. And we are working to full elimination of these non-tariff barriers. And
in Kenya, police check units for cargo trucks were identified as slowing the flow of transit cargo, prompting the government to reduce their number along the northern corridor from 26 to the current 5.
In the East Africa community, we have gazetted only 5 checkpoints, and we went on to lobby with the National Police. We have been able to bring those down to 5, and we are monitoring that closely so that we can ensure that checkpoints do not become a barrier for regional trade and for transferring of goods between country to country.
Some counties had proposed levies on cargo transiting through the devolved units, prompting government intervention and measures aimed at ensuring smooth movement of goods through Kenya.
We are putting a round table between these governors and His Excellency the President, where we can find a way forward and reach a win-win situation, be able to regularize, especially the northern corridor, and so that goods can be transferred from country to country as per treaty and efficiently.
Dr. Karugu says Kenya has successfully negotiated the removal of industrial development levy in Tanzania, which has enhanced the competitiveness of Kenyan exports.
We started with the Tanzania, and we were able to achieve that removal of the industrial development levy that has been affecting our main products, 49 manufactured products.
The issue we have had with the Republic of South Sudan between Nadapal and Nakodok, it's an 11-kilometer road that has had real challenges. If this small piece of road is done, goods being transferred from the Republic of Kenya to the Republic of South Sudan will no longer use the 14 days that is currently being used, and we will be able to cut short that by 7 days.
John Kahiro for Prime Edition.
Meanwhile, animal feed manufacturers are calling for tax incentives on key raw materials to encourage local production. The Association of Kenya Feed Manufacturers says rising demand for animal protein driven by a growing population has necessitated urgent action to strengthen the animal feed value chain. Take a look. Livestock contributes about 12% to the gross domestic product. However, animal feed accounts for up to 70% of livestock production costs, with manufacturers relying on imported raw materials such as soybean meal and sunflower cake. This exposes the industry to global price volatility and supply chain disruptions.
So if they can grow them in Tanzania and Uganda, why can't we grow them in Kenya? For soya, the same thing. We're importing them from Malawi and Zambia, and also Uganda. Why can't we grow our own soya in Kenya?
Another practical solution that we are looking at is the challenge of supply of raw materials that are adequate for production of feeds. And we are looking forward to intervention measures, for example, from the government, which has happened before, and we hope we can do it on a bigger scale.
The Association of Kenya Feed Manufacturers is calling for policy reforms, including tax incentives on key ingredients, increased local production of yellow maize, and affordable financing.
We want to separate this maize, the maize for animal feeds and maize for humans. For us, we would ideally go for yellow maize as our source of energy for animal feed. So we want to see how can we work with researchers, policymakers, to promote growing of yellow maize in Kenya.
So technology in production and farming is important, and also we also need to enhance biotechnology in production of raw materials for our industry.
We are looking for investors to come, speak to our membership, look at opportunities for them to co-invest and to grow the industry. I think critical for us is how we produce cheap protein going forward.
They were speaking in Nairobi ahead of the Africa Feed Exhibition and Conference 2026 that will bring together business leaders, researchers and investors to explore innovations and policy interventions. Now let me tell you something about permaculture, and an ecologist is transforming farming in Migori County by blending agriculture with wildlife conservation through a regenerative permaculture farm where nature and food production coexist. Caleb Omondi Omolo's farm, which hosts crops, fish ponds and beehives, is a living classroom for farmers and researchers with protected wildlife corridors for controlling pests naturally. Take a look.
In Kodebara village, Rongo sub-county, Migori County, a farmer is turning heads by tearing down the walls between agriculture and wildlife.
In a forest system, we have what you call predators and preys. And even in the soil, it is the same system and is balanced.
A unique regenerative permaculture farm is shaping farming here. At a glance, it looks like a wild, untouched forest, but this is a fully functional farm.
It is opposite to monoculture, which relies on large-scale one crop, which is very, very expensive and eats a lot of same nutrients. But the way we farm, there's no competition.
While most farms across Kenya are built to keep wildlife out, here in Migori County, nature is invited in. Here, every living creature serves a distinct purpose. The mastermind behind this green sanctuary is Caleb Odondi Omolo, who for over 3 decades worked as an ecologist in the United States.
Regenerative agriculture is very, very expensive for the first 2 years because, the first 2 years we work on soil health, soil management, and once we build the soil up to forest stage, is just now running money to the bank, you get a lot of income because in a forest you find like climbers, you find tall trees, you find understory.
Caleb's diversified farm hosts maize, coffee, sorghum, fish ponds and beehives, all managed organically.
Passion fruit like climbers, we have cover crops, we have understory, and then we have avocado, the tallest. Before that acacia, there was hardly any weaver birds. But now I have a lot of weaver birds, and you can hear them, you see them.
Here, every creature is welcome. Caleb has created protected natural corridors for animals to move safely. Some animals serve the role of controlling the population of destructive rodents.
Snakes is just one of the predators, but there are many, many predators in the forest. Because without a predator, everything gets out of control. They get overpopulated and they get into, they die. So you need a predator to keep everything in balance, just like nature.
This farm has evolved into a vibrant living classroom. Students, researchers and smallholder farmers who flock here for practical lessons. For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troyenjue.
That's a very interesting story, Troy, there, and I'm very interested. He says, Caleb Odond, he says that he has kept all animals, including snakes. All animals are welcomed in his farm. A very interesting story there, and if you're able to pay him a visit, please go in and see that masterpiece of a story. Thank you, Troy. And moving on, Kenya Agricultural and Livestock Research Organization is exploring partnerships to scale up production of the Nyota bean variety after demand for the nutritious, drought-tolerant grain has steadily increased. Benjamin Kivuva says the partnership will help expand seed multiplication to increase availability of the new bean variety. So far, over 5,000 farmers in Elgeyo Marakwet have already been trained on bean seed multiplication. Benjamin Kivuva is the Calro Group Systems Director. Take a look.
Because of climate weather changes, we encounter erratic rainfall, droughts, and then we end up losing our very important seed, the generation seed in the field. So you can see now, if we are enabled, like if we are enabled by this ball, we are not going to be able to produce the iron-rich beans because we realize protein was a major constraint. We can't be eating meat all the time, but beans produce higher levels of content of protein, and that's how the beans production came in.
Partnerships in getting the Nyota bean to be on the plate of those we intended from the start of breeding.
And that marks the end of our business news tonight. My name is Trevor, and we close it at that. Coming up next is sports news with Daniel Wahome. Have a blessed night ahead.
Here comes Gordon once more. Gordon in the middle, lovely ball, nice control. Jude Bellingham equalises. It didn't take England long at all. Only 10 minutes. He's been prolific during this World Cup.
I mentioned Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney, all of the greats, Gaza, had their own big moments. Bellingham has joined them, and can he eclipse them in this World Cup we're about to see?
Jude Bellingham pounces for his 5th goal of this World Cup. It's his 11th for England in 54 internationals.
Star 977 hash or download My Power app to access Kenya Power services fast and easy. Kenya Power, nuru ya Kenya.
Join us today and enjoy quick loan approvals, attractive returns on your investment, and unmatched customer experience. Membership is now open to all. Port Saco, uplifting people.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. President William Ruto has handed over a bus to the newly promoted Football Kenya Federation Premier League side Migori Youth in recognition of the club's historic achievement of earning promotion to the country's top flight league. The president, who hosted the players, technical bench and club officials at State House, Nairobi, said the government is building 34 stadia across the country.
Welcome. Migori Youth FC secured promotion to the Football Kenya Federation FKF League after winning the National Super League title, becoming the first team from Migori County to earn a place in the FKF Premier League. On Monday morning, President William Ruto hosted the club at State House, Nairobi, and handed over a bus to the club.
It takes a lot of effort, a lot of planning, working hard, working smart, and therefore, as you graduate now to Premier League, your assignment becomes even better.
Mr. President, you have been with us since we started this our competition. Since last season, you have been good to us, supporting us. Back at home, we have good stadium. I thank for that.
The president further said the government remains committed to investing in sports as a tool for youth empowerment, job creation and national unity, with construction works at the Migori Stadium still ongoing.
Many people have been asking me whether putting up stadia is a priority. I want to ask those people who are asking me whether stadia construction is a priority to ask the young people of Kenya that question. You will get the right answer from the sportsmen and women in our republic. The stadia we are building in Migori will be the home base of this great team. And I am sure with stadia we build in every part of Kenya, we will begin to inspire more young people to step forward, sportsmen, athletes, footballers, and other games, who will come forward and take their rightful space.
Frederick Muki for Prime Edition.
And the second edition of the Kenya Cup Volleyball edition enters its decisive stage next weekend, with the quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals set to be held between the 24th and the 26th of this month at the Kasarani Indoor Arena in Nairobi. The men's quarterfinals will be played on Friday, with Kenya Prisons facing APK, Chema taking on Kapu, GSU meeting Equity, and KPA battling KDF. The women's semi-finals on Saturday will see DCI face Kenya Pipeline, while KCB take on Kenya Prisons. The tournament concludes on Sunday with the third-place playoffs before the women's and men's finals, which will crown the 2026 Kenya Cup champions. And Kenyan rally driver Karan Patel claimed a record fourth Mountain Gorilla Rally title after producing a dominant display in Kigali, Rwanda, to strengthen his FIA African Rally Championship campaign. Patel, navigated by Tausif Khan, won 10 of the 12 stages on Saturday before sealing victory yesterday in the third round of the African Rally Championship. It was his fourth triumph in Rwanda after previous victories in 2022, 2023 and 2024. Tanzania's Ahmed Well finished second overall after compatriot Manville Bridi retired with a gearbox failure, while Kenya's Akif Virani completed the podium in third. Rwanda's Christian Kanangire won the ARC2 category, and Uganda's Susan Mwange emerged as the top female driver on a national international rally debut. And it will be Lamine Yamal and Kylian Mbappe showdown as Spain lock horns with France in the FIFA World Cup semi-final tomorrow. Kylian Mbappe dominated the headlines as France beat Morocco by 2-0 to reach the semi-finals, taking his tally to 8 goals for the tournament and moving just one behind Argentina's Lionel Messi in the race to become the World Cup's all-time top scorer.